Hello, my name is Doi Lee, and I'm the presenter of this session today. While preparing for this presentation, I've had many thoughts. It's been a time for me to reflect what I've done, like over the past 2 years. And what it's meant to me. I'd like to express my gratitude to the attendees and iOS Meetup community for offered me this opportunity. I've been attending this meetup for quite a while, like 3 months, but I've learned that various range of people come here, like from those preparing to enter the workforce and aspiring freelance developers and professionals currently working in the field. So I've been trying to think of a topic that will satisfy all these people, but I don't think there is one. So instead of a plausible story, I've set a goal to make a time to share my most personal stories and valuable tips and reflection on my work so far. So I'm very nervous right now. Okay, so I'd like to talk about this today. So what does the IT training manager do? And what if my younger sibling, actually I have a younger brother, wants to be a developer? What can I tell him? And I don't want to become developer, but I want to have a related job. Or why studying for development is so hard? And common concerns for those preparing to enter the workforce. So this is our topic today. So the first one is why I joined the bootcamp education provider company. Before I tell you what I'm going to talk about, it's probably a good idea to tell you a little bit about myself. So I work as a lead manager at Yagom, which is a very small company, but which provides IT training courses in Korea. And due to the nature of my job, I spend a lot of time every day meeting aspirants with the students like this and who want to become developers and listening to their concerns. I also communicate with the people in the development roles in the field, and I have to convince a lot of stakeholders related to education businesses. Before joining this job, I had worked as a deputy director of a comprehensive school for 3 years, and I did whatever I thought it would take to grow the academy, like from teaching to public relations, and until it became quite famous in the area. So I created the curriculum and counseled parents and prevented training chairs, a lot of things. But I believe that joining the academy when it was very small and also witnessing its growth are what motivate me so hard at the time. So this is concert by music class student, and we could move to a bigger building because we did growth. Is that right? So that the best moments were spending time with the children like this, students like this, and. While performing various tasks, I had my own hobby, which was programming to a certain extent. The reason why I used words to a certain extent, because even though I tried several courses like HTML and CSS, I simply couldn't go on. At the time, I had an overwhelming workload, but honestly, studying alone only went as far as finding it interesting. But still, I remember thinking that someday I should pursue a career related to programming. So when the pandemic hit the world, this is the time, so I decided that I had to change my job. So the time was also the time when developer courses were starting to introduced in the Korea. And then the reason why I chose iOS because it looked cool for me. So 3 years ago, I was searching for iOS courses and I came across Yagom Academy, which is my workplace. I was drawn to it because it was the only place that didn't guarantee a job after their courses in their promotional text. So I applied for it. I trust it more because for someone who used to run an academy, I know how big of a decision it is. So after completing a 6-month bootcamp course, I began preparing for employment as a developer. But while in the middle of job searching, my current boss, who knew about my previous experience in the education field, he suggested that how about join us. So I became a crew of Yagom Academy from January 2022. Actually, I was really concerned before I joined because these thoughts bothered me a lot because am I just trying to settle for what I'm comfortable with? And do I really want to be a developer? Or what if I don't get a job as a developer for the rest of my life? So I just couldn't decide. But I'm a little bit of pushover, so I wanted to do both sides, like education side, which I've worked in before, and the programming side, which I'm interested in. So in this company, I could do both, and it might be more of an opportunity for me. So what I did at the bootcamp, actually, I was about to describe what I did just in 1 or 2 sentences, but since what I'm talking about today comes from my job experience, so I thought it would be right to explain it to some extent. So I've been writing about what I've done for 2 years and like this, but I can break it down into 2 main parts, so educator and the manager. So bootcamp operations managers are usually only responsible for managing the courses, but the organization I was part of was a little different. So I was running courses as well as teaching iOS programming. When I counted the number of concepts I studied over the past 2 years, it was 37 topics and conducted 91 sessions. Yeah. And considering the periods of time not recorded and the external lectures included, I believe it could have exceeded like 100 sessions. So this is the main topics that I taught. So I spent a lot of time thinking about how to convey a concepts in a way that were easy to understand to the students. Like it was a very, very stressful time for me, but it was also one of the most rewarding and enjoyable tasks I've ever had. And it was incredibly rewarding to witness people who initially had no idea about programming, but a few months later, they were contemplating about design patterns and architectures about their services. And not only that, I've also grown throughout this process because teaching someone or explaining concept to someone requires understanding and knowledge go beyond the concept itself. And sometimes I was the one reminding them of the mindset of what they first started and pointing them towards their destination. So you know the times when you go upstairs and without any elevators and no stair signs? That is my house. So every time such a thing happened to my student, I played the role of cheering them on to finish by telling them what floor they were on and what floor they were headed to. And sometimes I was like a personal trainer, so pushing trainee to their limits like this. So I've been reflecting on what I've done as a manager, but my mind was racing and a lot of things just came to my mind. So here's how I've summarized them in just one line. And increase the satisfaction of the course participants. When you think of course participants, you probably think of this, right? Team members and trainees and mentors and company and government, right? But it turns out that each participant has a different definition of satisfactory course. So for course providers, high satisfaction is about delivering on their goals and values and creating it financially. And for students, it's about improving their skills, like unconditionally. For government agents and companies, it's all about their KPIs, like such as trainees' employment rate and trainees' satisfaction rate. For example, let's consider a scenario where a course faces a reduction in government funding if the dropout rate exceeds 10%. There are actually businesses that operate under such a conditions in Korea. When a trainee consistently arrives late to school and shows poor participation and bad attitude, it seems straightforward to remove them from the course, right? It's very easy. But however, if we continue to expel such trainees, we risk losing business funding. And conversely, retaining them can significantly increase the fatigue levels of other participants. So, as a manager leading a team in this situation, what option do you have? I think managing the course has been a series of thinking and making choices about how to deal with this situation. It was convincing the government and the trainee of the curriculum and learning methods and creating systems to monitor whether the trainees are participating in the course and whether they are using the curriculum and the system well and improving it. So for those looking to build a career as a developer, so in fact, as I said, I have a younger brother, and if he want to be a developer, I think I would tell him that think twice because there's other things to do rather than being a developer. In my opinion, too hard. But nevertheless, if he want to be a developer, I ponder how to best to guide to him. So. Before start, let's narrow down the definition of a developer here for those in the fields currently covered by the bootcamp course. This is not one-size-fits-all roadmap, as you know, so please be careful not to generalize and only take what will work for you. And this is the roadmap QR, so I will use this image to the next few slides. So if you want, take a QR code because the next one image is very short. So I'll pause. Okay. Done. Okay. So here's how I've set my starting point. Do I find enjoyment in development? Just a little bit. Personally, I believe that the process, especially learning, should be somewhat enjoyable or rewarding in order to keep it going. So that's why I've started this way. So first of all, if the answer is I don't know, I think there's two types. So if you haven't started studying development yet, and the second one is if you try studying different areas in development and haven't found anything that interests you yet, right? So first, if I were in your shoes, I would look for an online courses that can be completed in 3 to 4 weeks. This would give me a chance to try different languages in a short period of time and help me narrow down what I'm interested in, like apps, web servers, and data science, such things. And short online courses are available through platforms such as KDC, which is operated by Korean government for free. And I've heard that if you have a certain visa, you can take this for free. And there's another courses like bakery and barista if you want, so you can take this. And also the famous one, Udemy, Coursera, and Mog, many platforms are there, so you can use this. In fact, at this stage, what I consider to be the most important thing is to choose the topic that you're genuinely interested in. And many people forgot about this. And take the easiest course that you're able to understand among them. Truly, the easiest one. Don't be greedy. So in my case, I started learning programming with Swift Playgrounds. It's very easy and fun. If there are no courses available in the field you are interested in, you should always listen to the lectures with an objective eyes. In other words, I believe that when you learn, you should always remember that I don't have knowledge in this field yet, and so don't get emotional when I don't understand it. So if you face it, you just take a deep breath. So I also recommend attending as many community events as possible. Ask people who are currently working in the field how they start their career as a developer and share your own concerns with them. After that, ask yourself this question, do I want to continue with it? So if so, it would be a good idea to think about whether the time given to you is more than a year or not. So if you have a year or two to invest, I would recommend the following 3 methods. First of all, I recommend 42 schools because it's a free course and emphasize self-directed learning. And you can learn and get feedback from your peers, and also you have opportunity with your mentors and experts. But recently I've heard that the satisfaction among students in 42 Seoul program has decreased recently, so you should check this out before you join the 42 Seoul. Anyway, for similar reasons, bachelor's degree programs are also great, but they take a bit longer to get a degree, right? And self-learning methods are also good, but however, this approach is recommended for those who have experience studying something independently for a long time, or for those who find programming really enjoyable, like this time when you do programming, the time flies, right? It's also recommended for those who are confident in creating an environment where they can learn well by themselves. So you have to create your own system and rules and adhere them. So I think this method may suit only a few individuals, in my opinion. If you have a year or less to learn, I'd recommend a bootcamp. bootcamp course, and likewise, it's great to learn on your own. But if you're possible, I'd recommend finding an environment where you can learn with a diverse group of people. So you can use meetups like this, and you can create groups on various platforms like Influence. This is Korean platform, and Hola. So you can use these platforms. I think it varies from person to person, but in most cases, it's easy to lose your initial resolve and lose direction when you're studying alone, independently. Especially when you are first studying in programming, it's hard to stick with it because there is so much thing you have to learn and you don't know. So there's a quote I like: intention and willpower are highly overrated, and they can accomplish very little. This is from Junhee Ha. It's a Fields Prize winner. I took this quote to learn that it's important to create an environment and where I can action in the direction of my goal, even when my willpower is weak. So in my opinion, online and offline communities are one of the most effective ways to keep learning, even when my willpower is weakened. After that, if you want to make a career out of being a developer, you'll have the option of either applying for a job or launching your own services or working as a freelancer and other things. If you say no, it's a good idea to think about whether you want to have a related job. So, as many of you probably know about this, there is a job called PM and designer, QA, QC, and among this, the job I would introduce to you today is dev role. Dev role may be somewhat unfamiliar job, but it stands for developer relations. You can check this image and the articles from the QR code. And it's a job in software-centric company that's responsible for moderating and strengthening relations with developers. So based on technical expertise of the dev role, it introduces the company's technology and products and development cultures to the developer community and technology platforms. Besides this, according to the size of team, you can play a variety of roles such as technical evangelist, a technical advocate, and developer program engineer, etc. So, that role. Now going back to the very first question, those who answered yes to the statement of I find development fun can also choose the appropriate direction based on the amount of time they can invest. So, actually, this is one of the cases I'm most concerned about. If you say no matter how hard you study, you might find that development is not for you, and you've done a bunch of short courses and bootcamp, and you are like, I'm not enjoying it at all, right? But when you're good at it, it gets fun, right? For me, it gets fun. So I've been wondering if being good at it something makes it interesting or the opposite, but I'm not sure about what the right answer is. But from my experience so far, it seems that if you're good at it, it becomes interesting unless you hate it. So like if you identify the reason why you dislike it or find difficulty in the field of development and resolve it, discovering new enjoyment, wouldn't your answer to the initial question change? So with that thought in mind, so I've added this step. So I find enjoyable when I do something well. If you disagree with this or find no reason to define yourself in development, it would be a good idea to follow the same steps mentioned in the previous sections. So wrapping up. Actually, devising this roadmap took up a significant portion of the preparation time. I believe you all understand that it's not necessary to follow the order exactly, right? Nor is it the definitive answers. Given the diverse learning tendencies and situations and conditions of each individual, I hope you won't limit your potential based solely on the roadmap. So, next topics. Why is studying development so hard? I think studying development it seems like a term that's difficult to define. Personally, I think development is more about changing the paradigm of recognizing problems and embodying the process of solving them rather than studying them. So it could also be seen as a process of personal transformation of part of yourself. So it seems even more challenging. defining a problem and thinking about the fastest and most efficient way to solve it, and understanding the environment in which the problem exists, and using tools to solve the problems. I think this is the area we need to learn to become a developer. And I think that's why the emphasis on operating systems and networking and algorithms, etc., is also important from a recruiter's point of view. So understanding the system where the problem exists is the first step to solving it. So in my opinion, development is obviously hard because we have to learn all this stuff. So I hope you don't treat yourself too harshly when you, especially on the beginner level. So how to study be a developer? So I've been teaching for 7 years, including one-to-one mentoring, and found that it's really important to understand the basics of any field. But I think it's easy for people new to programming, especially in bootcamp, to lose interest only if they build basics first. So in fact, 6-month bootcamp is not long enough for building solid foundation. So I don't know how seniors study, but I would definitely say this to anyone starting out. So how about not getting emotional, but about not knowing and just acknowledging it as a fact? I think focusing on what you know and expanding it is a way to learn more continuously. But it's really hard, right? So, and I think in order to not to be afraid of it, you have to have faith in yourself and that you can handle it. So for recommendation, one thing you can do is to set a minimum scope and goal at the beginning of your learning, and that you know you can handle. So, and then continue to experience it and improving it. Experience to achieving it. Yeah. So don't be emotional. So for those preparing for employment, I think you have to give it a try, in my opinion. I think the most common phrase I hear from aspiring developers is development is so hard and I will never be a developer. But interestingly enough, even when I talk to people with quite a bit of experience, they talk same things to me. So if you're hesitating to apply because you don't think you're not good enough for that, I recommend just give it a try and just get feedback fastly. So, however, it's hard to get feedback these days, right? So it's helpful to give each other feedback at the beginning of writing a resume, but if you can, try to get it from people with a more experienced one. So I think it's good to use like this Meetups and LinkedIn and developer communities, and if you can. So I'd like to share my thoughts based on my experience of working together on many people's resume drafts than just how to write a resume. So first of all, the purpose of a resume, as you know, is to catch the eye of the person in charge, right? So the person could be HR who doesn't know anything about development, or it could be a developer on the team. So first, don't discard your previous work experience. So the part many people are concerned about is, since they are starting a new career in iOS development in my bootcamp, should they discard all their previous work experience, or is it better not to use it? This is most concern they thought about. So I don't think a development job is just about sitting and coding. So this is actually statistic. So it's not many people assigned, but anyway, statistic shared by Sujin No on LinkedIn. And when you look at it, you see that communication and collaborative experience is the second most important things after CS. So I think your experiences in your social and work life are valuable resources to showcase your communication skills. So I encourage you to make the most of them in your resumes, but not wordy way, right? And second, I have no social and work experience. Then you need to find something to write about. But unsurprisingly, many people are hesitant to make this plan because it takes such a long time. So in this case, you need to look a little bit further ahead in terms of when you apply and get some experience. So it doesn't have to be work-related experience, in my opinion. You can go to these meetups and conferences and write articles about and post them, or be involved in clubs or communities. If that's difficult for you, you can answer questions on Stack Overflow and document your process and experience. And you can create your own you can create your own online courses on YouTube or Influence. So I recommend to build up work experiences one by one, and that suits you personally. So third one is, I have so much thing to write about. But in this case, you often find yourself writing to the point of pointlessness. So try to keep it to the point. Yeah. And I know the Korean job market is very difficult these days, especially for a junior developer. And I love climbing. Every once in a while, I'll come across a problem that seems uncertain or borderline. But these problems are finally solved by sticking with it for a day or week or month. So I don't believe you have to solely glue your eye on something to achieve it. You just need to hold on to it somewhere in your heart. And there may be times when you take a break or wander, of course, but whether you take a shortcut or gradual path or winding road, I believe you will eventually reach that goal. So there may be times when you take a break. Sorry, I put wrong scripts, but anyway, anyway, like this. this was the okay. Sorry, let's move on. Okay, I'm wrapping up the session. Finally, in the characteristic of my job, a topic I often ponder is what is developer? If a person studied development, are they automatically considered a developer? Or what about if a person secures a job as developer? Does that only qualify them as a developer? So I even teamed up with a side project to release a climbing app like this to give myself to identity as a developer. But I'm still not sure about it. But actually, nowadays, if I think I'm a developer, I'm a developer, no matter what other people say. So for some of you, today's session will be a reminder of your early days as a developer. And for others, it will be a reminder that this is not what you want to do. Whichever way it may be, I hope you find it helpful. And if you have any questions or concerns, it would be great to talk about during the networking sessions. So I've tried to be honest as possible, but I'm also concerned that I may have unknowingly inserted my own experience into certain biases or stereotype to make my opinions more appealing. But take what you will and leave what you will, and I will train you on every step of the way. So thank you for listening today. This is Q&A.
Okay. So do you have any questions for Doi?
Okay.
Do I get the microphone or?
Yeah.
Testing. So I've heard that if you have a degree, you're an engineer, but if you don't have a degree, then you're a developer. Is that true? Is that same in Korea? Because a developer you can be a developer without a degree, but you cannot be an engineer without a degree.
I've never heard of that definition, but I think some of Korean use that, but I don't know. I don't know. Sorry.
That's it.
Yeah.
From my definition, I usually use engineer who seems more qualified, not about their degree, not about their attitude about work. I don't know why, for me, engineer is something better than developer, the word itself. I don't know why, but just it's my definition.
Yeah, I agree with her.
So engineer is better.
Yeah, in Korea, yeah.
In my definition. I don't know about others actually.
I think it might be because like there used to be like engineer used to be like a designation in the past, like professional exam and all that stuff, like PE certification, all that stuff. So maybe that's kind of where that whole like hierarchy, so much comes from. I've never heard that. You cool shit.
So any other questions?
As an iOS lead manager, I think you saw a lot of junior developers or learners at the academy. But I was wondering that is there some specialty or features that who learns or grow really fast? For example,
Oh.
some
I've watched a lot of junior developers, but in my opinion, their attitude is a little bit different. They want feedback a lot, and they always ask about their learning status. Like, do I study well, or is this right to study this concept? So like this. So they question a lot, and they want to get feedback a lot. So I think that is the attitude they
they
have.
question a lot.
Yeah.
So you're saying who questions a lot grows really fast, right?
Sorry.
So like I'm asking the specialties or features who grows or learns really fast.
Oh yeah, that's the answer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Any other questions? Nope. All right.
Okay. 이거 하나만 설명해도 돼요? I'm looking for team members for my side project. So anyone can join, like iOS and PM and server, any platform. So if you want to have a side project with me, just contact me this LinkedIn. And
Is it paid?
sorry,
Is it paid?
not paid. Sorry. That's a secret. I will gonna tell you when you join them. Okay? Yeah. And I'm gonna get a session feedback from this, and I'm gonna give you a Starbucks coupon if you write a. Yeah. No. Wait. Among those who provide valuable feedback, I'm gonna not feedback, valuable feedback. I'm gonna give you a Starbucks coupon. So please send me this feedback session. It is highly appreciated. So thank you.